Hey there guys, this is Greg from NFG, and tonight I got something really cool to show you guys. I'm sitting here, I'm getting ready to do a little bit of work on something here, and I figure you guys would appreciate at least seeing it. So we'll see how long my phone battery lasts. It's been a little shaky lately. I'm not sure what's up with that. Uh-oh. Oh man. So anyway, so I got this gun here from this guy, and I'm gonna do some work on it. But anyway, boom. Here it is. This is the WILROC machine gun. This is the custom gold Ripper, 24K GZ Ripper, just for my buddy WILROC. Simon built this for him, and I just got done cleaning it. It had a lot of paint and goo and other stuff in it, but she's all sparkly clean and gold now. And now we're gonna rip it apart. And we're just gonna make it shoot a little bit. Shoot a little bit nicer for him. So what do you say we dive into this, and we'll go until I'm done or until my phone battery runs dead. So one or the other. So here we go. We got it. This thing is really a beauty. I love these Rippers. I think these are probably easily my favorite body of all time. I love these things. My first Inception gun was actually a Resurrection Ripper, and I loved that thing, and I really wanted a WGP one, and every time I tried to get one, I couldn't. It was just the most elusive thing. But now I have my own retro Ripper. It's a green one, and I love it, and it shoots so good, makes me so happy. Custom grips, ICC style. You are right. These are pretty cool grips. I will say, Will, you might want to hit these guys with a little bit of polyurethane or something, because they're going to get stained up from paint. So I'd probably do something there just to seal them up. So anyway, so we're going to do the full 9 here on this guy. We're going to make the trigger shoot a little nicer, and we're going to clean more paint out of it, and we're going to make sure that these frame screws don't come loose again. So let's dive into this and see what we're working with. So we are going to for my buddy Will, we're going to do a super short trigger job on it. So in order to do that, we need to rip everything apart. It's such a destructive, invasive procedure. Makes me happy, because there's nothing I love more than ripping apart autocockers, except putting them together and then making them shoot. I guess I don't need to take that side out. All right, so removing a safety. Here's the quick and dirty way to do it. What I use to remove these is which size Allen key is this? This is a 7/32 Allen key, okay? And I use one like this that's a ball end, and I push the safety in, and then I just line it up right in the safety so it's centered. And then I take something and I tap it, and kind of put your hand around it when you pull it out, just in case. But having this little groove here, the ball sets in there, and you can kind of just tilt it a little bit, and it drops the ball right back into the hole, and you don't lose your safety pieces. So that is like one of the biggest pains in the butt of working on these guns sometimes, is that you lose the safety ball. And honestly, most of the time when I lose it, it's when I'm taking it out as opposed to putting it in. But sometimes I lose one when I'm putting it in. I actually, in my old tech room, I have a carpeted floor, and when I decided to move elsewhere, the carpeted floor had probably 50 ball bearings in it, and you could hear it. Oh man, this should be a live broadcast, Will. Coming at you live on WILROC's Mechanical Channel. Oh, I do need to take this side off. Dang it. That's the last time I listened to Waldo. We're going to blame that on Waldo. Ooh. Get the paint out of there. Good Lord. This paint's like crayon. It's crazy. All right. So let's see what Dr. Simon put in this guy. All right, we got an SAS plate. You see that? You can tell because it's got the exaggerated hump here. It is always Waldo's fault, Eric. The SAS plate is a more gradual rise. So cool, that's good to do. So we're gonna put this back together, and while we're doing that, we are going to work on our trigger job. So more than anything, everybody is kind of, they want to know, oh, I don't know how you get these things so, I don't know how you time them so close. I don't know how you make that work. And honestly, it's just patience. You just have to be super patient, and it's almost like growing a beard. It just takes patience and the ability to deal with nonsense. That's pretty much the only qualification for doing these trigger jobs is. So let me break into the springs here. There we go. Put the sear spring in there. Put another shoulder bolt in there. I don't know if you kind of saw what I did there, but I used my Allen key to pull the sear spring back, or the trigger spring back, and then I can just set it down in there. You can't grow a beard, Mark? That's crazy. I thought that was like the thing to do out there on the West Coast, is grow a beard. You know what? I don't feel bad for you that you can't grow a beard, because like you have a mother-in-law that like makes all kinds of like awesome looking food. So I don't really feel bad for you, man. I mean, it looks like you eat pretty high on the hog, and it's keeping you young, and that's why you can't grow a beard. All right. So as you guys know, on these Inception flea frames, there's a couple of adjustments. So there's a hole here, and then we have the adjustment that's going to go in here. That is actually this piece, the blank off. All right. And using those two things and a ton of patience is how we are able to get the triggers so very short. And that is, yeah, that's kind of the key. It's just messing with it and spending the time to do it. So I mean, I keep kind of saying it because people always ask me what the secret is, and there's no secret. It's just, you know, how much patience do you have, and how much do you want to deal with it. So we are going to put the safety in again, and I know that we've covered this before, but you should watch it again. So I set everything up. I get my safety in there. I put my spring in there. I make sure the spring is all the way down in the hole as far as I can go. And then I want to line up my actual safety button so that it's right next to the hole but not touching the spring. I drop the ball in, and I have this really special tool. It's just an Allen key. I think it's a 5/64 Allen key. But it's short and it's flat. And then you just stick that down in there. As soon as you get that ball locked down, you cover it with your thumb. You push down. Oh, the ball flopped off. So let's try that again. All right, let's do this again. So we're gonna. Oh, damn it! See, I'm trying to show you guys. I almost lost my balls. So we're gonna line that up again. Man, did it again, little cocksucker. These safeties are the bane of my existence. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just the nature of a safety. They actually work very, very well. All right, now we got it. So you see, we got it, that thing in there. And then what you do, cover it with your thumb. You don't want that ball to pop out. And you pull it out while you're pushing on the button, and boom. Your safety's installed like magic. So, all right. So that's that. We're going to put our trigger spring in. Trigger shoe. Tighten this guy down. And one of the things I do see an awful lot is guys really, really are cranking down on the trigger shoe, set screws. And if you're not careful, if you're using one of these Delrin plates, you can crack them. I had one guy, he just sent his gun in for a tune-up, and he had these screws just absolutely buried. And then on top of it, he put Loctite on them. And when I got it out, there was a crack in the Delrin, so we had to put a whole new trigger in there. And these are new, and these are pretty burly triggers. I mean, these things they're well made. They're thick Delrin, so it's really hard to crack them. But yeah, he had that screw like pushed in there so far where I guess it certainly looks like that's what cracked the Delrin. So, but just make sure that you're you don't need to wrench down on that really a whole lot. So, all right, so we're going to start setting ourselves up for the adjustment here. And usually I do the front adjustment first. That should be good. And then the rear adjustment. And it really is amazing how nice these auto trigger blank off plates really are. I mean, the fact that you have that rear control of the pull of the travel is just really it's really nice, and it's a simple way to do it. I mean, I don't want to say hokey. I mean, it kind of sucks that you have to pull it out and make the adjustment, but once you do it once or twice, it's actually a really good way to do it, because it's a solid way to do it. Like, you set it up, you don't have to mess with it again. So that's really a big plus. All right, so now we're going to check our length here. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm trying to concentrate here. All right. More paint. This poor gun. This is a gorgeous gun. Since we got this guy apart, we're going to we'll put a little bit more lube on the 3-way just to be on the safe side. I actually I like using the Dow 33 Light on 3-ways. I just kind of think that it gives it a bit smoother of a feel, as opposed to the medium, which is a little bit thicker, or even the heavy one. But yeah, this is what I use, the 33 Light. I am going to get a tube of the 33 medium because I'm officially out of it. I don't know what happened to I had a little tub of it, and it's vanished at ICC, so I don't know if it got left there or what happened to it, but I have it no longer. All right. So let's go ahead and we will put our frame on there. Now, when you do these frames, you want to make sure you put your one of your screws in, obviously, because you can't put them both in at the same time. You're going to put one in, and you're going to run it, most of the way in, but not tighten it down. And then you're going to start your second one. If you tighten the first one down, and then you need this thing needs to wiggle at all, it's not going to be able to. And then you run the risk of stripping your screw or even stripping your hole out. And it's not as big as a risk because you do have the bosses there on these. But if you're doing that on a WGP spec cocker, then you'll easily strip out that frame screw, and that sucks. That's enough to ruin your day if you do that. So I don't want to put these on yet. We'll get there. All right. So we have our trigger shortened up. Let's put the, low battery, 20%. We're gonna press on. I guess I should have plugged it in and charged a little bit, but this is kind of a video we're doing on the fly, as opposed to, All right, so let's see where we're at here. actually feels pretty good. But let's check our... And the trick is you want to be able to get this thing close enough, but not too close. But you guys probably know that. 3% battery. Yeah, we already talked about the gold anno, Sean Hughes. Damn anno guys, man, I tell you what. Haha. So we're still short stroke a little bit there. There we go. That'll do. So then tomorrow I'll put some paint through it and I'll dial this in a little bit more. There could be some lug adjustments, more three-way adjustments. Yeah, Sean, this is already built. Now it's here for to get the hot rod action going on. So we're doing the super short trigger job on this guy for Will, and we're cleaning it up. So yeah, let me put the Smexy ICC grips back on here. There's just something about wood grips that are just awesome. I love them. I remember my first autococker had a set of the Smart Parts wood grips on it. So I don't know if you've ever used a pair of those, but oh my God, they're amazing. And it was like pre 45 grip, right? It was when they were still on the original WGP frames, which were like, I forget what they were. They were like this weird angle. I don't know. My brain's not working too well tonight. I'm a little on the tired side, as per usual. All right. And there we go. Got them back on. She's ripping. People have them squirreled away, Sean. I'd love to get them. I'm surprised nobody's making them. I know that there's a couple guys out there that make wood grips, but they're not quite the same. Wow, this is nice. So another adjustment that guys don't often check, and I say this because I see far too many guns come in with the cocking rod set wrong. So when you get your bolt in there and you have it all together, you want to check and make sure when you pull this back, you want to make sure there's a little sliver of bolt in there. Okay? If you're not seeing the bolt when it's just cocked like this, then you need to dial in your cocking rod a little bit. Will it shoot? Yeah, but if you're going to try and get on it at all and really try to shoot some paint with it, that's going to cause it to break paint if that bolt timing is wrong. A lot of guys are like, oh, suction timing, and I mean, if you can do it, yeah, that's great, but it doesn't necessarily. I don't believe that suction timing makes a super significant difference on timing, on performance, as opposed to just getting it timed right. If you get it timed right, where the gun's shooting and everything is, correctly done, you know, suction timing is kind of a bragging rights thing, is more than anything else. Especially today, you know, you have force feed loaders and all these other things. As long as you're not getting blowback out of the feed neck, you know, you should be pretty good as long as you're happy with the trigger pull and it feels good. So anyway, so I would like to do more stuff to this gun, but it's brand new. So I think he's only used it like once or twice, and it was only built like a month or two ago. But man, this thing is just, God, this is so gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, the gloss on this thing, like, the video doesn't do it justice, nor does the light that we're in here. But this almost looks like it's plated with gold as opposed to anodized. It really, really looks sharp. So, oh. I shouldn't have looked at the front hoses. That's going to drive me crazy. One of my OCD things is I absolutely love the three-way to be straight up and down like that. And if it's off-center at all, it drives me insane. So that's another thing I'm going to have to fix. But my battery is going to die, so I want to thank you all for joining me while I did this work on Mr. WILROC's gun. It's still got some work to be done. Needs to be tested with paint and dialed in a little bit further. And then I'm going to give it a good once-over, make sure all the pressures are correct, make sure chrono's good, and then it's going to go back to him to get beaten up on all season while he's out peeling back scalps with this thing. So, all right. So I will talk to you all later, and thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you soon.